Hello together, be welcome to our technical session today. And today I want to show you a no-code solution by using an integration between Microsoft SharePoint, the Power Automate, the Teams, and Outlook. That means in this exercise today, I want to create a Microsoft Forms, a forms like this one. And when we fill this form, that means here is an issue tracker, this form. If someone fills the form, you can define the priority, and then you can give a text description here of what you want to define as issue, a new issue. For example, when you submit this form, then I will use the Power Automate here that will initiate a workflow process, and based on this Power Automate process, we will then create an item inside of a SharePoint list. In my SharePoint site, I have here a list. The list is issue tracker. Then if I refresh here, the new item that we have created is now here. And in parallel, I want to publish news and this issue on Microsoft Teams. I have here a channel, it's called issue tracker under the Contoso team. So here, if I have published a new item, and then this new item is published here. And on the other side, I have generate a new email, and this email is here. So how to use Power Automate to create a flow that collect information from Microsoft Forms, save the information into a SharePoint list, publish an announcement, a message into Microsoft Teams, and send a message in Outlook or an email. Yes, this is a no-code. I think everyone can do that if you have an Office 365 license. Okay, to start, first step is to make sure that you have here a list. That means in my SharePoint site, I have here a list. I call this list issue tracker. I have created this list by using the issue list template. That means in this list, I have here a column is issue, where we have the issue ID. Then we have here the issue description, and I will just fill using my Microsoft Forms just as a field issue description. I want to collect the description. Yes. Now my list is already there. I don't want to demonstrate how to create a SharePoint list. Now the next step is to make sure that you have a channel into Teams. That means in Teams we have a channel here under Contoso issue tracker, and I need an email address where I want to send my message. Now when I have all of this, then I need to create now a Power Automate. To create a Power Automate, I think I can start the creation of Power Automate out of SharePoint. That means here inside of on my SharePoint list, I just click here on the top, Power Automate, create a new flow. When I create a new flow, we have here some proposed templates, and then I select here see more templates, see your flows. In my flows, I will then select because we have here many flows, I can then create here a new flow using a template. When I select template, then he will propose me a list of all the templates here. In my template, if I just type here to filter forms, then he will propose me all the templates that are related to Microsoft Forms. So here are a bunch of templates, of flows template. Now what I'm looking for is a template where I have an integration between SharePoint, Teams, and Outlook. So okay, this is what I'm looking for. So add a SharePoint item and post a message to team on a Microsoft form submission. I mean, if I use this template, yes, it will create a flow that will integrate the Microsoft Forms with SharePoint, with Teams and Outlook. And you see here, check here if my account is working. So I click on continue, and now my form, my flow will be generated. I have here on the top the title, and on this title I can change the title of my flow and say here save. I give the name for my flow, save. Oh, what's wrong? Save item in SharePoint and Teams. Then here in this workflow, that is already the full set of all the actions are already defined. The first step here is to identify my Microsoft Forms. Now for the forms, I need a form. Then first step is to create a form. For a form, I have to open here, or let us create a new form just for this case. Then I can just select here on the app launcher. I select here all apps and select here Microsoft Forms. Now the Microsoft Form platform open, and here I can create a new form. And in this form, I will add here the title of my form is Save Issues into SharePoint. This is the name of my form. Yes. Okay, now I need the first question. The first question is about I have then to create the forms so that it map exactly the structure of my SharePoint list. That means in my SharePoint list, I have here the issue that when I look the description in list settings, the description of each of the value I would like to set. I have here the title, it is single line of text. Then if I want to set a value into the title, then I have to create a text field in my form. Now here I have the status, it is multiple choice. And if I check here in priority, the multiple choice, what are the value that I can add for the priority? I see here 3 values, critical, high, normal, and low. Then let us create a field for the priority. So now in my Microsoft form, where is it? Yes, now I create one field here. Now I create one field that is a multiple choice, and this is priority. And the value of priority, the one is high, and the second one is medium. What was it? It was okay. Take the value, I copy the value here and open my form again. Okay, I have okay, critical, I have here high. No, I can then delete this. I have critical. I have just paste, yes, the list, and then it create the list here. I have critical, high, normal, and low. Now this is the priority. I add a second field. The second field should be a text field, and here I need the description. Issue description, and then the user should enter the description. And for the description, I will then the description will be in my SharePoint list. This field description, where is the modification issue description? Yes, then I can call this also here in my form if I want to make things more easier. Issue description is exactly. So now the next is I have priority. I can also use status. For status is also multiple choice, so I can copy for the status this field, and then here in my form I create a new field that should be a choice, and I will then enter it here, and all the field will be created here, and this is status. So to keep things simple, I will stop here. So we have three fields: priority, issue description, and status that we will set using this form. If I want to test this form, I can go here on preview, and you see like the form will look like, and it's really powerful because with no code I have here a professional form, and I can convert it also on a mobile phone. So you see this form also will be well supported on a Microsoft on a mobile phone. Now my form design is finished, then I can just my form is called issue into SharePoint, save issue into SharePoint. Now I can then go back to my no, my Power Automate is this one is the old one. Okay, I want to leave this, and then here is my form. That mean my form is here, my Power Automate, my flow is here, save item into SharePoint. Then I need first to specify the form ID. For that, I have to select here, and it will propose all the form I already created. Then I select my form here. So when there are information into this form, then he will get the response of the form. I select also here the form, the same form like on the top, the response of my Microsoft form, and the response will be here in this object list of response details. And now based on the response, we want to create an item into SharePoint. For that, I have to specify here the SharePoint list that I want to use, the SharePoint site. My SharePoint site is called SharePoint Training MX. This is my SharePoint site that I want to publish or to add this issue. Then I need a list in the SharePoint that where I want to save the issue. My list is called here issue tracker. Yes, that means now I save it in the issue tracker, and you see when I select the right list, he will then display all the fields of my list directly here, so like automatically. Now the field, I have the title that will get the response title. Now we have here the issue description. For this issue description, I want to take the issue description out of my form. So if I click here, then you see here my forms, you see the icon of the forms display all the fields that I have in my form. So I select here issue description. That means the issue description in my Microsoft form will then be added to the field description. For the priority here, the priority, I want to enter a custom value when I select here. Now in my form, I will select here the priority out of my Microsoft form. Oh, I add too much, then I will display the priority here. And for the value, I will also enter a custom value, and in that case I have not the value, sorry, I have priority value, status value. Yes, the status value, I want to add the status out of the Microsoft Forms. This is the field I want to add. Yes, now I could use also all the other fields here out of my site, but I will let this empty. So now that I have published this item into Microsoft, I want to post a message into Teams. In the Teams, then there is an action post message in Teams. Then I need first to identify the team. In Microsoft Teams, I will select here Contoso in the team that I have here in the Teams. Yes, in Microsoft Team, I have here a team, it's called Contoso. Into this team, I have a channel called Issue Tracker, and in this channel, I want to post a message. So here in my flow, I need then to add here the channel is the Issue Tracker channel. Yes, and now the message, what is the message I want to post there? So then I can decide what I want to post. I want just to post here new, I want to type here new issue is registered. Yes, and what is this issue? I want to enter here the issue description. Yes, and say, and then it's registered. And then here I can add a break line and make the first slot and say the first item ship, and say description, and after this then I add the description field, then I add here status is the value of no, this is the Microsoft description. Okay, I can use here the Microsoft description or the value out of the forms. So I can enter here the issue description. So here I can add here the value out of the Microsoft SharePoint item that we have created earlier here, or we can just use the value out of the Microsoft form that is on the top. So in this case, let us use here the Microsoft description from the Microsoft SharePoint form, the description out of the SharePoint list, and on the status, I just want to mix and to display now the status out of the Microsoft forms. Yes, and we have also the priority, and for the priority, I will take again the priority out of the Microsoft forms, also out of the SharePoint list. And now this message will be posted into Teams. And I want also to create a message that will be sent via email. Now for the message, I will just send the message to a specific, to my address, email address. Where is my address that I want to use? I would like to use, I want to send the message to a specific address. I can type here a specific address. There's the email address I want the message to be sent to, and the message that will be sent, I want to here just add new issue, or I just want to add the same message like in Teams, and say here a new subject is new item is registered, and for this item I can then just add here the, what should I enter here as item as okay, with priority. And now in the description, here into the description, I will just add the same like that I've add here in Teams, just to keep things simple. Let's do it that way. That means an email will be sent to this email address, and with this title, new issue is registered, and we will see the priority and here the description of this item. And I think that is all. Now we can save it. This is my flow. It is saving. Now it is saved. Now I check if there is an error. There is no error, so I can test it. To test, I just need to click here on test and test it manually. Now that I want to test it manually, I say test. Okay, I have not clicked on test. Now that I hit on test, I forget to click on test. When I test it now, then waiting that we have to create a new item here. So I have to submit a new response. I say critical, and then on the issue I enter here flow test with forms and SharePoint, and status is in progress, and I said submit. And now let us see and you see your flow is running. Again, because I have registered a new item, now my flow is running, and you see all the status of each step into my flow is now here, and you see the status icon here is green, so I can expand each of them and see the exact value of each of these fields, and also the details. You see the detail, you can see the message that it posted, you can see the exact message that will be posted into Teams, and you can see also the message that is sent, that the message will be sent to this email address, the subject that is sent, the description here. So now that we see that our flow works well, now let us check into the SharePoint if this issue was really registered into SharePoint. Now if I open my SharePoint list, I have to update my SharePoint list here. When I update it, then you see here flow test with form and SharePoint. This is the new one that I have created, and you see the priority is set to critical, and you see the progress, the status is set to in progress, exactly like I have filled it in these forms. That are the three values that I have defined. So with my flow, I could create a new issue in this issue tracker list. Now let us check in Teams. In Teams, under Control in issue tracker, see here a new item is created, and you see here new issue is registered, and this has the description, flow test with forms and SharePoint, exactly like the description of the item here in the list, flow test with forms and SharePoint. And then we have the status in progress and the priority also critical. Yes, now let us look into email. Then a new email is created here, and you see the title of the email is new item is registered with the status critical, yes, with the priority. And now we have the description here also, that a new item is created. We see here the description, it is the status and the priority. We can then improve the format of this message, but the most important for this session now is to see that we can just use Microsoft Flow, the Power Automate, to create a flow and to collect information out of the forms, Microsoft Forms, and to display it into Teams and SharePoint. Now that we have created this form, see, we have here in the form two tabs. Yes, the one is the question that we want to build here, and the other one is the response. Now we have a powerful integration between the forms and SharePoint and Teams. The one is using Power Automate to collect this response and display there, but for my end user, I don't want them to have such a complex URL to open this form. So what we can do is I can now integrate this form into SharePoint, into a SharePoint site. Now I can then open my SharePoint site here and create a new page in my SharePoint site where I will then display this form. Then for that, I just come here in SharePoint, open site content, and into the site content, I will create a new page here, and I will open the site pages. Into the site pages, I will just create a new site page here, and the title of the site page, I will say here, this is my issue tracker, and for this I can also add like a great icon, an image to this page. So I can select here in the stock images just a great image that can help me to identify what is an image here that symbolize the issues. Okay, let us just take one of these simple image. I like children, so let us take this image. And now in this page, I will add here a control. This I will add the form, Microsoft Form webpack. When I select the Microsoft Form, I don't want to create a new form. I just want to add an existing one. When I click on Add Existing Form, then here I have to add the URL of my Microsoft Form. For the URL of my Microsoft Form, I have to go back to my forms that I have created. This form, my form is here. And now here for this form that is saved, I want to share it. Then I click here on Share, and I can just copy the URL here. Put the URL here and collect. If I say OK, now my form will be rendered here into SharePoint site, a SharePoint page. And that is all. When I select publish this page now here, see, I get okay. So my issue page, issue tracker page is there. So if someone fills this form, he will then get the response. So to make my page now accessible for all my users, I would like to add a menu here on the left that will lead the user to navigate to this page where they will fill this form. So I need to copy the URL of the page here, and then edit the navigation and just point here on the top and add the URL of my page here, and type here as title of this, I say collect issues, and click on save. Now the menu collect issues there, I hit save. Now when I open my home page, I can just click on collect issue and my page is there. Yes. Okay, we can improve the position of the picture on the top, and you see the form is already there. Now if a user answer to this form, you can say the next one is hi, and you say here add Microsoft Forms to SharePoint. Yes, and I say completed, and I submit it. So I have submit now a new one, and you see the user, every user who come on this page can just submit a new issue if there is an issue on his side. And you see how perfectly it is integrated into SharePoint with no code. Yes. And now the next step I want to do is I want to add this form where all my users are interacting, so I can add onto the same form directly into the team. So I have here in team a channel, this issue tracker. Yes, when there is a new issue that will be posted here, so I can also add here on the top a new tab. I can just add a new tab and select your Microsoft Forms, and on this Microsoft Form I will use an existing one and select here save issue to SharePoint, and then I want to collect information to save the issues to SharePoint. When I hit on save, you see that my forms will be totally integrated here into Teams, and you see that a user can then just click here and say priority normal, and I say here integration of MS Forms into Microsoft Teams, and now I can say is by design and hit on submit. Now a new issue is submitted, so if someone want to create a new one, he can just click there and fill the form again. Now that we have collected all this information, maybe I would like for my manager team who are working on the general tab to make possible that they can analyze all the issues that are collected using the Microsoft Forms. So I can just add a new tab here, and we'll tap here again Forms and select Microsoft Forms, and I can then select my form again by clicking on existing form, use save issue into SharePoint, and here now by the what do I want to display here, I want to show the result. When I click on save, you will see that all the answers that are collected using Microsoft Form will be visible here, and you see a Power BI, like a Power BI platform where we have an analyze, where we can see the different collected issues directly into Teams, and you see how powerful the integration between Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, and Forms and Power App is so useful, and everyone can do it. See, we have done this stuff in just I think 20 to 30 minutes, and how can this improvement impact in your company? Imagine that based on such a small solution, you can maybe save 20 to 30 minutes to your employees or to your colleague every day when they have to publish an issue or to share informations, that if you have an impact of 10, let us say 10 minutes per user, if you have a company with 1,000 employees, how great this is. Yes. Okay, I hope you have liked this session today about the integration between Power Automate, SharePoint, Teams, and Forms. And if there are questions, you can just contact me on my contact address on LinkedIn, on Sync, or you can just write me on the email address under this video. Yes, and see you next